Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing all right. Um, if you have been through any one of Noria's courses over the years, you might know who I am. My name is Bennett Fitch. I'm here joining for this webinar to cover a few things about the Reliable Plant Conference. As you might know, Noria is the host of this annual event, so 27th year of hosting the Reliable Plant event. And we just want to be able to come on camera here. This is live to talk through some of the things you might expect if this is your first time coming to Reliable Plant. Um, just so you know as well, I can see your questions that you might pop up. This is a Zoom call. If you've been on a Zoom call before, there's a question and answer feature. It should be on the top or the bottom. Just look for Q&A. I think it says Q&A. And once you ask your question, I should be able to see it pretty easily. There's also a couple others on the call from Noria that will answer questions as we go along. And please ask questions early on. I want to make sure I navigate this conversation to address your questions. So if you've never attended, assuming that's the case, this is a first-timers webinar for Reliable Plant. It's a pretty cool event. 4 days, jam-packed schedule, June 2nd through 5th. So that's just coming up here in about 2 or 3 weeks. Gosh, yeah, less than 3 weeks now. And this is our 27th year of hosting this event. It's got a lot of history, and every year it's been fantastic. Even since the very beginning, if you know those who have been to the Reliable Plant in the early years, it started out actually being focused in practicing oil analysis. Noria's specialty is lubrication and oil analysis. But about 5 years after that, it grew so big that it turned into a reliability and asset management and lean manufacturing and lubrication excellence, and all of these topics combined to turn into what is called and has been called for the last 15, 16, 17 years, the Reliable Plant Conference. It's a conference and it's an exhibition. What that means is the conference is, where we have speakers, subject matter experts from all around the world coming in to speak on what they know about their specialty, their focus, many of which are, they provide a product or a service or a consultancy in an area because of their experience in the field. I already see questions coming in, so we're going to address those here pretty quickly. Thank you for that. But a lot of our subject matter experts or our speakers at Reliable Plant are also going to be end users. What I mean by that, they're everyday practitioners working a lot like you, trying to find solutions or have found solutions and are wanting to share those case examples of where they've had success. So that's what I'm most excited about is that conference. And I'm also very excited about the exhibits because there's a lot of really cool exhibits. If you've been to a show where there's a lot of exhibitors, there's an exhibit hall where you'll see, it's like an expo of booths of different size, a lot of different products they're demonstrating, and you can go through that. And we'll talk about what that looks like for this year. We'll have well over 120, 25 exhibitors. So it's plenty to take a look at. You'll have a lot of time to be able to go through it, but you're going to need those 3 or 4 days to do that. So as I said earlier, I know there's some more joining the call right now. Please use the Q&A feature to ask your questions. We're going to address it. We're already answering in the chat. The first question that popped up was about the hotel, referring to the shuttle from, this is a shuttle from the Overflow Hotel to the convention area where we'll be at. It's about a half mile drive with that shuttle because our primary hotel has been full for a few weeks now because of how many people are attending the Reliable Plant Conference. But we have this Overflow Hotel that's not too far. Airport shuttles to the hotel depend on your hotel directly. You would need to arrange that with the hotel. A lot of them do that. And the conference itself does not provide airport transfer. That said, O'Hare Airport, which is the larger airport in Chicago, is not far at all. It's much closer than anywhere else you're going to get in the Chicago area. About 15 minutes, so that's pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is get to these slides I wanted to share. You want me to press the button or you press the button? I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Reliable Plant Conference is the first timers webinar. We're hoping to help you make the most out of your experience. So please share your questions in the Q&A. With the exhibit hall, how to navigate that. You want to have a game plan. You want to make sure that you know who is where. And the best way to do that is with the Reliable Plant mobile app. I'll talk about that in a second. But this is the layout. It's a grid. And by the way, the theme of this year's conference is all about automotive. It's the Route 66 theme, route to reliability. And so think about the layout of the exhibit hall like these are streets going one way or another. And you can check them off a list of who you visited, or prioritize at least who you want to visit. Those that are important to you, that pair up with solutions that you are focused on addressing. And my recommendation to you is, while you might have some exhibitors you're familiar with, you should also consider going to visit people that you're not familiar with. Learn something new. Find a product you're not even sure what that product is supposed to address. You have no idea what it's about. Go talk to them about it, because that's what Reliable Plant Conference is about. You go there for justified reasons. Because you're going to get answers you're needing solutions on already, but you're also going to be exposed to so many things that you didn't even know you didn't know. Question came in. Raul asked if there's an app for this specific event. There is. It's going to be released in pretty soon, a few days, I've been told. And it's really well put together, has everything you're going to need to know. I'll talk about that in a second. With an exhibit hall, know your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? What is your company trying to accomplish? What's special this year with your goals at your facility? Are you trying to achieve a certain level of condition monitoring and improvement? With better pairing up of unifying between vibration analysis, whether it's you have vibe techs that need training, or you have wireless vibration needs. Maybe you're unifying that with your oil analysis program, getting better solutions. Maybe you're trying to shift from a commercial oil analysis lab, to your an on-site lab. If your facility is large enough, let me get that picture out of the way. There we go. Your facility is large enough, a lot of people justify having an on-site oil analysis lab. That's something that we talk about a lot in Noria's lubrication oil analysis training. But there's a lot of other reliability disciplines or condition monitoring disciplines you might be interested in. Maybe it's talking to those who specialize in thermography or motion amplification. The exhibitors, the providers, the solution providers for all of those are there, including ultrasound, but they're also speaking. So the great idea is, if you're new to those, go to the session first and then plan on maybe seeing who's exhibiting that can help address those needs if it's something that works out for you. Question came in, is there free parking at the hotel? I believe that's the case. It's a pretty good sized lot, so that shouldn't be a problem. And there's going to be a special vehicle parked at the parking lot. It's going to be PepsiCo and Frito-Lay. They have this large trailer they use for mobile training. It's very cool. They're going to have that on display. So I'll talk about that in a second. Keep the questions coming. All right, so more about the hall. Now learn about the learning tracks. I know this is a lot of information, but the main tracks, and you can get this on the website too, relate to condition monitoring, relate to training, leadership, and culture, relate to maintenance and reliability, at least those entry in those two fields. It's a one-on-one. There's a lot of sessions to help introduce you to that world. Lubrication excellence, all things lubrication, including oil analysis. Best practices, that's Noria's expertise, and it's very much a focus in certain parts of the exhibit hall and certain parts of the session. Not to mention, this is a co-located conference. This is the Reliable Plant Conference and the Machinery Lubrication Conference in the same place. We're going to have a few things related to road-ready reliability to play on with our theme. We're going to have asset management topics. We're going to have maintenance optimization, taking it to the next level. And of course, we're in a world of the Internet of Things and AI, and going through digital transformations, digitalizing our data, making the most of it. So there's going to be quite a few sessions that help bring people into a better modern understanding of those topics. That said, I think it's best if I jump over to the website. I want to make you familiar with the Reliable Plant website. So if you were to go to conference.reliableplant.com, that's the main conference website. You're going to find everything you should probably need to know. But in the learning tab up here at the top, hit learning sessions, and you're going to get a lot of detail on all of the 75, 85 plus sessions that are there, workshops across all of these topics we just talked about. And you could just click on one of them right now just to jump to it, like digital transformation. Takes you down there, and you're going to see information about the different sessions. Like, for example, we have John Carter. He's a senior lecturer at MIT, and he's talking about Formula One maintenance and combining the digital transformation with building a competitive edge. There's a lot going to be talked about. It's a great panel opportunity here related to wireless condition monitoring. This is definitely one that's I've saved on my mobile app, or I will be when I get the app downloaded. We'll have Ed Spence. If you don't know him, he knows a lot about different wireless vibration sensors. But he's brought in 4 people. Some are end users, and some are solution providers, and some are even kind of, with the different background of what they're trying to discuss or what they mostly are familiar with to help give you a real full picture of what's going on. I can't go through every session now, but I really want to make sure you're knowing where to go to navigate to all the different topics, whether it's digital transformation. There's another panel here on practical strategies for a CMMS success. If you're familiar with Greg Christensen, CMMS Radio, not only is he going to be here hosting this post, but he's going to be doing some of his podcasts live from the Reliable Plant Conference. So very excited to see him there. Transforming maintenance with AI. Assad Malik, if you don't know him, he's with Fluke Reliability. And then you have 12 sessions on condition monitoring. You can see some of these are combining an end user with a solution provider, like this one between John Buccarelli, president of SD Myers, along with Nathan Jacob. By the way, there are some speakers. There's a question here. Standby speakers are going to get in touch soon. So if we have certain slots that open up or something like that, we have a handful of standby speakers that will be able to get on the list. But just as it sounds, they're on standby until there's an opening. That's what that's about. And good to see you there, Rodrigo. Okay, so just please take time going through this. At the very top of this learning page here, you're going to be able to get a printed version. Also on the home page, you can get a 2-3 page schedule at glance. This includes the sessions primarily, but also the time slots for all of the activities, including the exhibit hall time when they're open, including the keynotes. There's several keynotes. Well, it moved on me. Several keynotes this week. And some keynotes are part of maybe the opening ceremonies. We're going to have one in the afternoon on Tuesday. You're going to have a couple options for keynotes in the afternoon and morning on Wednesday. Some are TED Talk style with 15 minutes jam-packed with a really good message. Definitely look at the schedule there. And if you are a VIP delegate joining the conference, the VIP rate, you're going to get special access to the lunch VIP keynotes. There's a couple really good ones there. If you go to the website, you'll see some information about it, learning and keynotes. So here are some of the TED Talk style ones, like Ray Daly, a lot of you familiar with him at Trico, Howard Penrose, MotorDoc, Jeremy Drury with Uptime Solutions. But this one right here, this is one of the VIP keynotes, Jeff Winter. We're very much excited to see him present on his, sorry, I got a pop up here. I'm looking around. He is known as one of the best minds in digitizing and digitalizing maintenance activities and speaking on Industry 4.0. Really good content on social media. He's always sharing some really insightful stuff. I definitely recommend looking him up on LinkedIn and meeting him at conference. And hopefully, if you're a VIP, you can attend his keynote there. There's also another keynote at the lunch period. This is so that the VIP will get lunch provided during this keynote. This is a lunch keynote on both Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's a plated lunch in an area which our main ballroom, but it's going to be a nice event. So both Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesdays will be, let me double check it real quick here. We're going to have automate to optimize, realizing ROI with AI and agile mobile robots. So this is with Boston Dynamics. If you've heard of Spot the dog, the robot, they may have him there. They may not. I can't confirm or deny that. But that's something to find out. And I definitely encourage checking that out because they're going to talk about some real case examples of where they've had some successes. And if you're an early breakfast guy at 7:30 or gal, 7:30 on Wednesday, there's a non-denominational prayer breakfast hosted by SD Myers. So there's a lot of opportunity to, see good keynotes. This one's by John Buccarelli, or just get a really good meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And in the evening, there will be some receptions. There will be sometimes drinks provided. Usually there is, as you know. Evening time's good for that on both Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now, Monday is for VIP only. You get a special early VIP reception there. Tuesday in the exhibit hall area. For those who are not, going to other outside events worth going to. Wednesday, you have to go to the casino night. The casino night is the favorite event of the entire, of course, other than the keynotes and the sessions and the exhibit hall. But everybody loves the casino night. It's a lot of fun. That's from 5:30 to 8 on Wednesday. Guys, have any questions? I see someone saying something here for Chicagoans. And I used to live in Chicago too, so I'm a little familiar. Free parking at the Schaumburg Convention Center. I think that was asked earlier. The answer is yes. And for those who haven't been to Chicago, it's a cool city. We're in a little bit on the edges of the main Chicago area, and that's actually a good thing. You're away from the high traffic areas, and it's an excellent convention center. Schaumburg's excellent convention center. Easy to get to from the airport. But if you did have some time, let's say on Sunday, you should check out a Cubs game. I know the Cubs are playing. Who are the Cubs playing? Cincinnati Reds. And I've been to several games at Wrigley Field there, and it's a very special place. Great environment. Question came in. Are the evening events in the hotel? Yes, so the convention center, there's a hotel right there for those staying at the Renaissance hotel space, which is the primary host hotel. It's all one connected facility. And so, yes, it's right there. Yes, you can have a few drinks, not worry about that. And if you are at the Overflow Hotel at the Embassy Suites, that the shuttle is going to be able to take you back and forth there. And that shuttle runs until about what time on Wednesday? 9 or 10, 8 o'clock p.m. On Wednesday. So you should be able to take the shuttle there. So good question. A little bit more about the website here. You go to learning, you'll find more about the schedule. And the workshops are only going to be on Monday morning. These are 3.5 hour workshops. There's 6 of them, I think 6, in different key disciplines. You can see one here by Dan Walsh, the director of Ametek Spectro. They're going to have a lot of on-site oil analysis equipment to demonstrate and talk through. One here by The Lake Speed Jr., tribologist. One here by Wes Cash, Noria's VP of Services. He's going to go through critical steps with lubrication program transformation. There's one here by Alejandro Trujillo, Pabalon. He's really understands how to build training programs, training plans. So if you are working or you are a training coordinator at your facility or work with them, definitely check this one out. A couple others here. Here's one here with Asset Watch. They provide wireless vibration solutions. They're going to talk about how to build that toolkit to detect and correct everyday problems. A couple folks there. Mike Dwyer with Mobius Institute. He's going to be there as well and talk about why good maintenance isn't enough for an effective asset reliability strategy. So you can choose one of those. There's 6 in total. Most of these are going to be pretty full, so pick early. And if you have a VIP access to conference, you get free access to the workshops. If you don't, you can add that for I think about $295. So pretty reasonable cost there. Just a reminder, if you have registered at the general admission rate, you can still upgrade that. There's a lot of really cool things that you get with it. I can give you a quick breakdown on that on the pricing page here. At the very bottom, it breaks it down. Not only the little books you can get, like the oil analysis basics book, while supplies last, or how to select a motor oil, access to certain VIP receptions. I think there's even a T-shirt here somewhere. You get a special VIP lounge, but for no other reason than this last one right here, this is worth the amount you're paying for the VIP access, because the value of you're getting a free certification preparation training seat with a VIP access. That's normally more than the cost of coming to Reliable Plant. So definitely take that in consideration. If you plan on taking a NORIA training, that includes machinery lubrication level 1, oil analysis level 2. We train more people to become certified MLT1, MLA1 than anybody else out there. We have live online courses, in person. Right now, for example, there's about 60, 65 people being trained in Myrtle Beach at the hotel convention there. So if that's something you're looking at doing in the future, you can save a lot of money by just coming to conference with the VIP route. All right, any more questions? And for paper files, you can get the Reliable Plant 2025 conference booklet. That's where you get some more information. Also at conference, you're going to be getting actually a few things, not just our program guide that you can get while you're there. You'll get a little backpack thing, a satchel thing that'll have a whole bunch of stuff. You'll get a good magazine here, the Reliable Plant Machine Lubrication Magazine. This is the annual edition. A lot of good stuff there. Let me go back to the PowerPoint I was at. Here's a layout of the facility. I think this is really good for those especially those that weren't there last year. If you were, you know a lot of this already. So share it with your friends. But someone was asking if the casino night is in the same place as the hotel. Well, the casino night's going to be hosted in the second floor. Right here, you see casino night. The hotel is right over here. There's escalators going to, this is the main lobby, front desk. This is a tall building of like 10, 15 stories. So that's where all the main rooms for the Renaissance are. And there's a walkway, second floor, first floor over here. And if you're there are a couple NORIA trainings, the level 1 for machinery lubrication and the oil analysis report interpretation. That's what you see here. So if you're taking one of those two courses, it's going to be in the second floor. On the first floor, this is where the conference is going on. The main exhibit hall, this is the hotel over here. You go down this main hallway, you'll pass the learning sessions to get to the exhibit hall. The reliability stage, where all the keynotes will be held, including the lunch VIP keynotes, will be right here, be right behind the registration desk. You'll see some NORIA folks and a lot of other folks out there in front. On both sides of the reliability stage, so going to the left and turning right, or going to the right, turning left, this is where you get all of the learning sessions. These two right here are a little bit larger. These will have some of our premier learning sessions, but there's 4 other rooms over here, all of which are going simultaneously. And if you are VIP access, you get access to the lounge here. We get a lot of different drinks that you can get throughout the day, not just the coffee, but the energy drinks and a lot of different snacks. And there'll be a lot of that also in the exhibit hall. For lunch, for those that are general admission, you can get lunch in the back over here. Be a lot of tables to sit down for lunch. And you will have concession stands back there where you can buy just typical concession stand food. I'm guessing hot dogs, hamburger, maybe some pizza. And that's open between 9 and 5:30, the concession stand. So I'm learning a little bit as I'm going here. So there's a lot of detail. So I'm so glad you guys are joining. I've been coming to Reliable Plant for many years. Definitely for the last 10, 15 years when I've been full-time with NORIA, but I went to Reliable Plant Conference when it was called something different back in 2000, 2001, 2002. Lots changed since then. Back then, I walked into the exhibit hall and it smelled a lot like oil everywhere. And because the different solutions were all focused on, helping filter oil, help, do different things to store oil. And a lot of that's still there, but, they've been able to reduce that smell a little bit because we have a lot of other really cool solutions to talk about in the exhibit hall. I wish this was an opportunity where I could have 3 or 4 of me all at once that week. If I could just only focus on the exhibit hall and visit them, that would be worth it right there. But if you've never gone to the sessions, you want to make sure you carve out some time for that. And what we're doing differently this year, we did it also last year, we'll have dedicated time for both one or the other, either the sessions or the exhibit hall. So if you're coming and you're joining here because you're an exhibitor, I highly encourage you understand when there's dedicated session time because you can go to those sessions yourself and go ahead and learn a few things and see what the questions are like. What people are asking, what solutions they're looking for. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is the PepsiCo Frito-Lay mobile classroom I talked about. It's going to be outside. It's going to be some cool stuff there. They're going to have a session from 2 to 2:50 on Tuesday. So right after that, they're going to open it up. There's a really great mobile app I talked about a second ago. This is will be available very soon on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. A lot of great details, not just navigating the show, what the exhibit hall is. You can click on, the different exhibitors and get all their details. Same thing with the sessions. I encourage you to use the search feature up here. This will quickly navigate you to, the speaker you're needing to look for, or the company that's exhibiting, or the event like the casino night. So rather than trying to hunt and peck, just use the search feature. Also, you can go to the menu, this hamburger button on the side here. It's like many other apps. It's a great app. It's definitely going to be a great way to understand everything. See a comment here. Will Chicago feel cold for people coming from a country that is averaging 100 degrees? Well, when I lived in Chicago, it definitely got into the 90s in the summertime. Although it's early June, it's not July or August yet, so I have no idea what the temperature will be, but I expect 70s, maybe 80s, maybe 90s, but unlikely. We'll see. That said, unless you're really planning on going outside a lot of this is actually indoors, but great big windows all around so you can see a few things. If you want to explore Chicago, Micah, for those coming out of the country, for sure, definitely try to come a day or two early, or at least stay a few extra days afterwards. There's a lot to do in Chicago, and if you get closer to the airport from the convention center, which is not very far, it's a main train called the L that takes you all the way down to the city, and there's a lot of cool stuff there. Brian says it's currently in the 80s. Okay, you live 20 minutes from the convention center. Awesome, Brian. If you have any more comments to share about what people should do in Chicago area, feel free to add in the chat. A little bit more about the app. When you go through and pick your sessions during the event, you're going to be so preoccupied by everything that's in every direction around you. So beforehand, it's advised to go through and look at the sessions on the schedule on the app and use this little plus symbol right here to select the sessions that you want to try to attend. And that'll help give you a reminder. Make sure you turn on your push notifications because it'll send you a reminder notifications 10 minutes prior to the session. That's critical because I always have at least a handful of sessions that I know I cannot miss. And with so much conversation happening, it's possible you may forget what time it is. And before you know it, you missed it. So this will help you make sure you don't miss those. If you want to have a little fun, there's some gamification going on here. Our game card, digital game cards, QR scanning, it's a lot of fun because you can get submitted for drawings. On the last day, Thursday, there'll be a lot of prizes given away. I've been told 20, there might be more, but 20 really good prizes. That includes, I think, a PlayStation, whether it's a 4 or 5, I don't know. I think some VR goggles and a few other cool stuff. So if you want some fun toys to bring back to the kids or some toys you want to keep for yourself, I don't blame you. But definitely do this game giveaway thing. What you're trying to do is basically scan QR codes with the mobile app, Definitely has to be done with the sponsors in the exhibit hall, but you're going to find some other secret ways to get some QR codes as second entries and third entries for these prizes. So um, take advantage of it. Your odds are much better than down the street for the lottery, and so you can get some pretty good chances over here. Let me think what else I'm missing here. And just attending sessions and going to some of the other events, you can get some of those QR scans. Definitely stay updated during the event. If something needs to be updated on the app, it requires you to click this button where it'll flash red, download event updates. So please do that. The schedule for the week, everything starts on Monday. Monday, the exhibit hall actually doesn't start till Tuesday though, but Monday is all about learning. So you're going to have workshops in the morning and you're going to have learning sessions in the afternoon and a VIP reception in the evening. Tuesday, there'll be the on-site registration first thing 7 a.m. A little bit of out there welcome breakfast. You can get some breakfast before the opening ceremonies. Definitely get there at least before the opening ceremony. Exhibit hall hours will start right after that. But there's going to be dedicated learning session time starting at 1 o'clock right after the VIP keynote lunch. And a break in between there. And a final keynote address at the very end, 4:30, before we get to the meet and greet reception at 5:30. Wednesday is kind of the same, except there's no opening ceremonies. There is a prayer breakfast at 7:30, a VIP keynote lunch in the middle of the day, but learning sessions all day, and the exhibit hall is open all day. But of course, the very end there is the casino night. And Thursday this is the time to go to where you forgot to go to, especially in the exhibit hall because you spent a lot of time maybe in the learning session. Go to the exhibit hall on Thursday. There's learning sessions also happening between 10 and noon. And then the closing ceremonies are at noon sharp on Thursday. Be there if you want to win your prizes. So lots packed right there. Please ask questions if you have any more questions about what to expect at Reliable Plant. This is Noria's hosted event, annual event, 27th year. We've done a lot over the year to make this show amazing. The attendance so far, 2 weeks out, is looking great. So you should expect to see a lot of people there. Don't miss it. Bring your friends. If you plan on attending, you're already registered, let us know and we can probably help you out, get some of your other colleagues there so they can join you. I've always recommended going with somebody else because you're not going to be able to see everything yourself, and you're going to want to have someone else to say to your colleagues back at the office what you actually learned to validate, yes, you're telling the truth. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to take away from that. Really important. A little bit more here before we finish up here. We have the evening receptions, talked about that both on Tuesday and Wednesday. There's workshops on Monday morning, the non-denominational prayer breakfast by John Buccarelli, president of SD Myers. That's always been excellent. They've done that many years. And that's it. See you in Schaumburg. Great stuff. Okay. I think there's one more question. Will all the sessions be recorded for us to watch? We will have some recording, but not all the sessions. We will have those available, but we may have those periodically available throughout the year following that. So best thing to do there is to follow our machinery lubrication, Reliable Plant newsletters. That's probably one of the ways in which we're going to make those become available. It takes a while to go through some editing and putting them on the website, but definitely some will be recorded. And also the proceedings of the sessions, all the PowerPoints, when made available, and usually they are going to be accessible using the mobile apps. That's another reason why you want to have that mobile app, because you'll be able to do it right there and then. Good question, Stacy. Who else has questions? What are you excited about? What are you worried about? If you're local, definitely don't miss this. If you're able to fly in from a major airport, the good thing is Chicago O'Hare Airport is a very accessible airport. So it's easy to get to. That's it. That's all I have to share. Looking forward to seeing you there. We got one more question. Do I need to apply for the session prior to attending the event? You do not. You can just show up, but the only thing you have to make sure you applied or register for is the workshops, because currently it's access only for VIP. But if you want to go to a certain workshop, you can pay that $295, even though you may not be a VIP registrant. But you still need to register. And same thing with that prayer breakfast. Make sure you register for that. I forgot to say that earlier. You can't just show up to that. Prayer breakfast on Wednesday morning at 7:30 has to have pre-registrations. You can just email registrations@nori.com to make that happen. Okay, great question there, Walter, on the shuttle. I actually have a slide here that answer that. So this is the shuttle schedule from the Embassy Suites Hotel. That's the overflow. And you'll be able to get early times there in the morning at 6:30 or 7 and all the way up to 9 or 10 p.m. in the evenings. Okay, what other questions do we have? Spaces, okay. Will Loop Tech Larry be at the conference? I can't promise anything. But if you know who Loop Tech Larry is, you'll make sure you take a photo. If you don't, well, you'll find out soon. Good questions. All right, guys, I'm waiting for more questions. What else am I missing? Cheryl? Cheryl, you want to say hello? For those who don't know, our event manager, Cheryl Likoya.
Hi.
She's the one that puts on this event and does an excellent job now. You'll probably see her running ragged at the event itself, but please stop by and say hello to her if you do see her.
I will not be standing still very long. I will be running everywhere. So.
Wave at.
Yeah.
Just wave, yell at me. I'll turn around and come back.
Anything I missed?
No, I think you covered a lot of things that we were covering. We have the shuttle schedule here. As I put into the chat, it's also going to be in the app under the show program or under the show information. If you guys have any questions, reach out. My email address is going to be in the app as well, so you can email me. I'll be checking that daily, not often because I'll be busy, but I'll be checking it usually in the evening. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right, that said, I'll sign off here. We'll leave the chat open for a little bit so you can continue to ask questions, and we'll just reach out to you directly. So thank you so much. You guys have a good day.